What is happening in Indiana right now feels larger than basketball. It feels like the moment a franchise steps out of its old identity and into something entirely new, something bigger, brighter, and built to last. When Kelly Krauskopf stepped back into the organization she once built from nothing, the timing could not have been more poetic. This was the dawn of the Caitlin Clark era, the arrival of a singular talent whose influence reshaped attendance records, television ratings, franchise valuations, and the cultural heartbeat of women's sports. And suddenly, everything Krauskopf had once envisioned decades earlier, a world where the Fever were not simply a team but a brand, not just a franchise but a symbol, was becoming reality faster than anyone in professional basketball imagined possible. Yet behind the glowing metrics and viral moments is a deeper story, a story of legacy meeting opportunity, of a builder returning just in time to guide the most explosive rise the WNBA has ever experienced. When Krauskopf spoke about sustaining growth and building an enduring brand, she wasn't exaggerating the scale of the moment. She had lived the birth of the WNBA from the inside, hired as the league's first ever director of basketball operations when there were no teams, no players, no blueprint, just belief. She was part of the group that wrote the rules, shaped the competitive structure, and willed a new professional league into existence. So when Donnie Walsh recruited her in 1999 to create the Indiana Fever from scratch, she knew exactly what the assignment required. No roster, no staff, no infrastructure, only a blank canvas and the expectation of excellence. What she built would define the next 2 decades of the franchise. What she built would become the platform for the moment unfolding right now. And what she built would eventually bring her back to Indiana at the most pivotal moment in Fever history. Her early decisions shaped everything. Choosing Tamika Catchings in 2001 despite an ACL tear proved to be one of the greatest draft decisions in WNBA history. While other franchises hesitated, Krauskopf saw the future. Catchings became the franchise cornerstone, a Hall of Famer whose competitive fire pushed the Fever into 13 playoff appearances, 3 finals runs, and the 2012 championship that ended a 40-year professional basketball title drought in Indiana. Under Krauskopf's leadership, consistency became the Fever's identity. Stability became their advantage. And culture became the heartbeat of everything they accomplished. By the time she stepped away in 2018, she was the longest-tenured senior executive in league history, a pioneer whose work had already shaped the WNBA's foundation. Then she made history again. Her move to the Indiana Pacers as assistant general manager in 2019 was not symbolic. It was groundbreaking. She became the first woman in NBA history to hold a basketball operations role with true decision-making authority. And over the next 6 years she proved what she had always known: leadership transcends gender. She helped build a Pacers roster that reached the 2024 Eastern Conference Finals, further cementing her reputation as one of the most respected architects in the sport. But while she thrived in the NBA, a revolution was brewing across the street. Caitlin Clark arrived. Her draft day alone pulled in more viewers than most primetime playoff games. Her debut shattered 2 decades of audience records. And as she stepped onto the court in May 2024, the Fever instantly transformed from a rebuilding team into must-see television. Attendance skyrocketed 318%. Television numbers exploded by 170%. The Fever's valuation jumped from $90 million to nearly $370 million. The franchise surpassed its entire 2023 home attendance total in 5 games. Records fell at a pace no one had ever seen. League-high attendance, league-high viewership, league-high road draw. This was not a star entering the league. This was an economic engine entering the league. And suddenly, the Fever were not simply participating in the WNBA's rise, they were driving it. Clark delivered on the court at a level that made the data impossible to ignore. A league-leading 8.4 assists per game. Over 19 points per night. The most assists in a single season in WNBA history. The first rookie with 2 triple-doubles. All WNBA First Team. Rookie of the Year. Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. The Associated Press's Female Athlete of the Year. Every accolade confirmed what fans already understood. Clark was not just great. She was transformative. She had become, as Nancy Lieberman said, the Tiger Woods of women's basketball, shifting attendance, ratings, interest, and financial power simply by showing up. And that was the moment Kelly Krauskopf returned. Officially announced in September 2024, her return felt like destiny. Mel Raines, the new CEO of Pacers Sports and Entertainment, knew the organization needed someone who understood both the weight of the moment and the blueprint required to build a contender around a generational star. Krauskopf understood both better than anyone. She spoke openly about the exhaustion, the relentless pressure of her first 18 years with the Fever, yet she also recognized something bigger than fatigue. This was her DNA. This was the franchise she had built. This was the opportunity of a lifetime. Within weeks, transformation began. She hired Amber Cox as COO and GM. She made the difficult decision to fire coach Christy Sides, not because the team had failed, but because good was no longer enough. Stephanie White, former Fever coach and reigning WNBA Coach of the Year, returned to lead the team again. Free agents arrived: Natasha Howard, Dana Evans, and most importantly Sophie Cunningham, whose toughness and shooting were designed to complement Clark's passing brilliance and Aaliyah Boston's interior dominance. Krauskopf even compared Clark to Tyrese Halliburton in the way she elevated teammates, calling her a floor general who sees space before it exists and passes players open without them realizing it. That kind of generational playmaking demanded a roster built to finish plays, not simply watch them unfold. And she was assembling it piece by piece. Then came the announcement that cemented Indiana's long-term vision: a $78 million, 108,000 square foot training facility, one of the most advanced in women's sports, complete with hydrotherapy, recovery labs, and childcare space. It sent a message across the league: Indiana was not building for now. They were building for a dynasty. Clark understood this immediately, expressing confidence that championships were coming. And Krauskopf, once the architect of the Catchings era, was now building the Clark era with even greater speed and even greater ambition. This moment is bigger than a franchise revival. It is a convergence of legacy and momentum, of a builder returning to her blueprint at the exact moment a generational athlete arrives to elevate everything she touches. Clark introduced millions of new fans to the WNBA. Krauskopf is ensuring those fans stay. Together they are not just shaping a season. They are shaping the future of women's basketball. The architect has returned. The superstar is in place. The foundation is set. And in Indiana, they are no longer building for relevance. They are building for championships. Thank you for watching. What do you think? Are the Fever already on the path to a dynasty, or is the league prepared to challenge the rise of Caitlin Clark's era? Share your thoughts below.